Hello and welcome to SideQuest. This is our weekly video game show here at GeekVerse. We're recording so many episodes. This is our third SideQuest episode, recording in one night. It's probably a record. But as Dexter would say, tonight's the night. I am joined by the Clown Prince of Outlaws, Travis, and I have the mentor, Taylor, with me here. We've been going for a while, so we're going to get right into it. Taylor, Ubisoft Forward, Mr. Ubisoft. I called you Mr. Xbox, but
yeah.
you're the Mr. of Minis. What did you think of this year's Ubisoft Forward?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was a quick cut. It was dishing out lots of stuff, and it kind of goes over my head as I was watching this because I felt like, man, all these different titles, and it just kind of, it's like, wow, these are all Ubisoft titles because I felt like it's actually pretty diverse when you think about it. Because we go through Star Wars, you know, Avatar, and a couple other things too, like some shooters, Rainbow Six, Skull and Bones. Yeah, there's a whole decent catalog of different games, and people hate on Ubisoft because you don't technically own your games or whatever, and there's reasons to be pissed, but
yeah, that's the one reason that people hate on Ubisoft.
I think it was a pretty good show though. I was quite happy with a lot of what I was seeing. So
Number 1 to 5.
Oh, I'm gonna go 3.75 out of 5.
Holy wow! Okay.
Under Xbox.
Travis Snell, what do you got here?
Yeah, I actually thought this was a pretty good one because to me, we have many years the Ubisoft show when we did E3 has always been the bottom. It's overstayed its welcome. It's had producers talk about the Assassin's Creed movie. They had no idea about Assassin's Creed. They got celebrities. There's just dance things. This was like an hour 04. I liked it because it felt like it was bringing back those E3 nostalgia vibes. It's someone on stage, an orchestra, a crowd getting excited. They had Star Wars at the beginning, Assassin's Creed at the end. That's a perfect placement. Other than Prince of Persia, because their 25th or 35th year anniversary, that got a showcase of multiple games. Other than that, all these updates, which I was with Taylor, I was like, man, they do like. There's so many games that Ubisoft does produce that we don't even talk about, but I feel most of the updates, especially there's like this block in the middle where it's just a montage of update. I thought that was the way because we've seen so many years where a dev comes out, and not that that's a bad thing, but it's just when you're trying to do and show that semi-entertainment as well, you want to save those more for the interviews or Day of the Devs and stuff. Like there's different ways for that, especially because you want to. I feel like that those are better because people that are interested in your game seek you out versus you're kind of just throwing all this info that they really don't care about or they don't want to hear right now. So I thought that was good. We got a few musical performances, but no, I thought it was good. I'm with you. I think we're like a 3.5. A 4 to me seems like there has to be a certain really, really goodness to this, but this to me is like a above average passable, like I don't know, like that even sounds bad. Like I would still say it's good. That's what I'd say. So maybe a 4 is like a great. So I'd say this was a good conference. I think they hit well on Assassin's Creed, even though I'm not interested in it. And I think they hit very well. I think they actually knocked it out of the park with Star Wars because I just feel like the reception is a lot better. And we're gonna talk about more, but I'm very curious how that game's gonna go for them because I think if it hits right, that could be a really big win for Ubisoft, and people might look at them in a different way because it's not just, oh, Assassin's Creed over and this over. So no, I think that they delivered well, and like I said, hour 4, that's great. That's exactly all these people. Summer's Games Fest, other ones like even State of Play. It's like you didn't even need to do one. They did the right amount of time, show what they needed to, and I think they did a good job because you gotta preview at least those 2 big ones. So you could have just done those 2 and that'd be fine. But I still think they wanted to showcase a few things. So no, it was good overall. So
Nice. Yeah, I think I'm lower on this. Just there wasn't really much hyped about this for me, and like I didn't gain any new info here really. Like these are new showings for Star Wars. I learned some stuff about those games, but like there wasn't any surprises. I guess that's more the word I'm looking for. And I'd like to have some of those sometimes. I didn't really expect them, but I don't know. Like to me, I'll throw a 2.5 on it. It's good enough. Got the job done. It was good for pacing wise in terms of what they've done before. But yeah, nothing really particularly blew me away. But I'm not offended by it. It's fine. The first game here, Star Wars Outlaws, of course, coming out at the end of August. They showed a lot. I don't even know where to start. They showed off space battles. They showed off some arcade games and just messing around. They showed some cities. I think to me they showed off. One of my big questions has been, okay, they've talked about all these different planets. This game is open world, but like, how open world is it if you have all these different areas, and I think they showed how that's going to go in terms of like transitions between screens, and I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I don't know what was the highlight for you guys. I don't know who wants to go first here, but what was just maybe your highlight for Star Wars Outlaws? What surprised you or blew you away?
Go ahead, David.
I can't remember if they revealed this in the previous like gameplay, but the space battles caught me off guard when she was going up into the system, and then she chose to just do this mission here. I was like, man, this feels like Starfield all of a sudden. And then she's helping out the ship and like taking out the enemy fighters that are around it. I really really like that. That was a highlight, and it just I'm so flabbergasted. I get it's tied in a little bit with a cinematic feature, but for the most part, I think it's a very seamless transition. I love going to the planet, going through the clouds, through the atmosphere, and then coming in and then your ship just docks. And I think that that's really 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 fantastic.
Yeah.
I like
Why
that.
couldn't Starfield do that? Why do I gotta go main menu every time and select a planet? You know, how did Ubisoft figure it out and Bethesda didn't? What's going on here?
It was
That's my
questionable.
2 cents.
So yeah, I think that's great. Other things too that I really like is the factions that you're dealing with as well, and how you can do different things to increase your popularity or decrease your popularity with those factions. That's neat. And you mentioned earlier, Travis, this week the wanted level. That's a factor too with the
Yes,
Empire,
that's
which is
very
very
cool.
sweet. So there's so many cool little things that I'm really really driving with. My only con with this game is, and you mentioned this, Travis, before, like, I got nothing wrong with being a human, but I'd really like to be an alien. That'd be a lot of fun, especially in this world with the crime syndicates. I feel like an alien would be, like, perfect for this kind of setting, because you're dealing with that. I mean, you got the Weequay in there, you're with the Hut Cartel, and a whole bunch of other species. So I think that's just kind of a miss, but everything that I've seen with your zip around your speeder bike is fun. The combat's cool, how you're sneaking around, and basically you're trying to track down different characters to increase your skills so that you can be better, whatnot, and you're pulling off the greatest Star Wars heist of all time, which I guess we'll see what that's all about. But everything I saw in this, because I pre-ordered the game, and you guys were talking about how it would be available in Ubisoft Plus, and so I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna go cancel my pre-order. But legitimately, after seeing this, I thought, I kind of don't know if I want to. I'd like to own this game, and I'd like to send that message that, hey, I feel like this is justified, and I want you to keep doing more. Now, I'm not going to drop the like $150, whatever, for the collector's edition, because that's just fucking outrageous. But I think I'd be inclined, if it's only a $20 difference between the subscription that you got, you did the math, Travis, and then I mean, was it $20? Maybe it was 30.
Well, it's $20
one-
for you to buy Assassin's Creed and this. That's what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
that's
Yeah.
the difference here.
If you got the service for a year, I think it was.
Yeah, for a year is what I was saying.
Right. Yeah. So
It's a
I don't know.
year. A lot of other
I got to
stuff
think
going.
about it. I got to think
Yeah.
about it.
One thing based on the wording here, and I don't know if they've confirmed this, but to me it seemed like they're offering those, Star Wars Outlaws, and we're talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows as well, as Ubisoft Plus.
Yep.
But it seems like maybe those are limited time. Like maybe they'll be in there for a month, and then they're gonna like remove them. And
Oh,
then,
really?
Like I don't
Okay.
know. That's the word. When I was reading the wording, that's what it seemed like was the case to me, which would be weird, but also seems like a Ubisoft sort of thing to do. So I don't know. Keep an eye on that. Like, and I think in your case, Taylor, like this seems like maybe a game. I mean, Assassin's Creed, you probably want that physical
I need it.
thing on your shelf anyway. So it's like maybe these games make sense for you to buy because that way you can play the DLC when they can come out, and you have access to them forever because you're not normally a subscriber to Ubisoft. Like you own so many of these games already.
It's
right?
19 a month, I think, right? And I own most of their games. The only
Yeah.
reason I've thought about trying it is because Avatar hasn't gone on sale yet, because Cameron wants money. So I haven't picked that up. And
Is
I
that
mean,
game in the service right now?
It's on the service, yeah.
Okay.
So there's that, Skull and Bones. I'd like to play Rainbow
Okay, have they
Six
been
Siege.
doing this? Have they been putting their games in their services day one for a while now? 'Cause
I
that
didn't know
can't
that till
say.
seems to
today.
me-
Because when the way this ended, before they had everyone on stage, it was like a mini teaser for UB Play or UB Plus, and when they were showing day one, I was like, okay, and that's when I started to look at the website, and Assassin's Creed had that, Star Wars had that. I didn't know if it is like the timed exclusive thing where it's like, oh, Outlaws is only on here for a month, so that could change something. But at the same time, I wonder, like, would your save data still change, like go over? I imagine. Like, would it be
Yeah.
like I
It should, because like
right?
Skull and Bones was like, here's a free trial, and you don't even
Yeah.
have to have Ubisoft Plus, and then
So to me, if I had like a month of Outlaws and I really liked it and it was worth buying, then it's like, okay, at that point, then I'd throw the money down and then just keep it. But at the same point, after a month, I think I'd be able to decide, like I've played enough of this game, and when it comes
Mhm.
back, I'll do that. So, and even then, with the time, I think both with Assassin's Creed and this, you're getting them like 2 to 3 days early, which always helps me. I always like having games early for the reviews. So, but yeah, that's I did not know about this, and that's like terrible marketing for people that are in this ecosystem to just be hearing about the day. And that's a good thing. That's the day where you do it, right? Is a day like today where most eyes are on it. But the fact that we're still like, this is the first time we've heard new releases being day one on UB Plus is very, very odd. So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, because of that, like, I want to play this game now. I was very much on
mhm.
the fence just because of the price of it, even though it's looked good. But of course, my Star Wars hype's at an all-time low. But I think this
Mhm.
game looks great. Like I love the bar games and like the arcade games that you
Yeah.
can do. Like that kind of stuff is fun. I think the density of the cities looks cool. Visually, I think it looks great. I mentioned the transitions. I think that's cool. Like they almost took like the from the movies, like the almost like movie maker s
Like those
transitions.
swipes and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when you're going to a new area, it's like they make it seamlessly. Like okay, now you're going on this little travel sequence. So rather than it being like a bland loading screen, because of the loading capability of these new consoles, it seems like, and I don't know if this is on like PS4 or Xbox One, but if it isn't, like it seems like that stuff's really seamless, and I think that's a really cool creative idea. It's got the classic Ubisoft stuff of like you can sneak around or you can go in
Mhm.
guns a blazing, and like that's always going to be fun. Another thing I really thought was cool about this is the way you are leveling up certain abilities, and this seems like a big narrative
Mhm.
string of why you're playing this game and what you're doing is like going around and finding these experts who maybe there's like a guns expert or like a ship expert or something. So you're going to locate these people across the galaxy, and you find them, and then they help you level up skills, and that's like just a really smart way of rather than just like this boring ass skill tree. Instead, you're having to go explore, find
Kind of
people, and then I'm
realistic in a
sure,
way, like in a world, right?
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
would learn a
exactly.
skill from
It's
somebody.
very immersive,
Yeah.
and I'm sure like once you go to one of those guys, he's gonna be like, "Here, go do this fetch quest," and then you'll learn
Mhm.
this skill. But like, I don't know. I think that's like a really well integrated way to do it, and I think it's like it seems cool. Of you have this almost chart at the beginning of the game that's like, here's these different experts. What kind of character do you want to be? What skills do you want to focus on? Go try and find this person, and I'm sure there's gonna be some like critical path or like some intended like order of way you're going to do these things. But to me that seems like a very cool open way to do it and fits with like the outlaw setting of going around these different places. So and like yeah, the GTA element of it, like the empire coming after you with
I
different
can't
levels,
wait. Yeah.
seems super cool. I don't like space battles. I think they're boring and it's not my vibe, so I don't like that element of it. But this seems like the kind of game where I can kind of skip that stuff if I want, and just focus on the grounded stuff and like go around in my speeder, which I can upgrade. So yeah, I was really impressed by this, and yeah, like I even though I was impressed, I was like, am I gonna drop $90 on it? No, but
Mhm.
I will definitely get a month of Ubisoft Plus to pick this one up. So I think that was a very successful showing from them, and yeah, shows them for getting me excited for Star Wars, which has not happened in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think what's weird for me is it does not feel as big as like, of course, like a Witcher or Grand Theft Auto, but then there's things about it that don't feel like a Ubisoft kind of open world game. Like it feels like there
Yeah.
is, it feels almost more, and again, not even as big as a Bethesda game, but it feels, and I get the comparisons. I think they're completely right. It does feel like a Starfield B where the dogfighting looks similar, the landing, that's funny, but I think it's almost things that we talked about before Starfield come out when they're like, there's hundreds of planets, and we're like, oh, would it be better to pick five or something like that? And that's what this game's doing, right? Where it's like,
Yes.
these are your five, these are what you can explore, and this is where it's like truly open world. So it's like, okay, so it kind of feels like a multiverse version of Starfield, but with Star Wars skin. There's been lots of, because the embargo's up, there's been lots of people that have had their hands on it, and one of the big things they say, which I took from the trailer, but just emphasize that the world just kind of always feels alive with conversations and things going on, and I think that's a good thing you need in Star Wars, because it has to feel, you got to feel that kind of magic going on. So I think that's just impressed me, that there's so much stuff. I was going to shout out before you did, so I'm glad you agree. Is like, I love that idea of the different people you find to give you your skills. Like that makes so much sense in like a story wise, and is something way more interesting. And plus it's like, I feel like it's almost like I'm sure you'd have to go talk to them all eventually, maybe for some missions, but maybe there is something where it's like if you aren't a big fighter, I'm not gonna go looking to get my gun up. Like I don't if you're just happy with your one shot gun, I'm gonna go to these other people. Where sometimes skill trees they'll do. I'm not sure what it's gonna be. I hope it's something where it's like, well, to keep going forward, you gotta unlock all these 3 bars. I would like it if it's just I don't have to go talk to the shooter guy for maybe levels and levels because I'm just happy with the gun I have. I don't need to do that, right? So yeah, like you guys said, there's options of sneaking or not sneaking. There's the classic, work with Jabba, don't work with Jabba. I am curious at the end of the game how much of those really, because it did sound like a baby's version of like a Red Dead Redemption, like outlaw versus cowboy hero. And that's thinking like, do you actually have a bar or is it just certain things, certain missions? But if it just felt bigger than what I thought it was going to be when I initially heard Ubisoft is doing this. At first, it was just, okay, I want to play an outlaw, non-Jedi in Star Wars, great, and I'll have some fun with this. But just all the little details, even like the lockpicking, that reminds me of Starfield as well, which I've heard that's supposedly fun. So I think for me, I got questions about the RPG and choice elements because, of course, they're like, oh, and you can make friends or enemies with the huts. But it's like, how far does that really go? Or is it just kind of, and I don't know. They didn't highlight this in that trailer, so we'll see where that showcase. But yeah, it keeps looking better and better, and that's where I'm just waiting for like the shoe to drop. Like it looks too good to be true in a sense of. Ubisoft, like I said, Ubisoft putting out a game that I think they would get like lots of acclaim for was not what I thought was going to happen. And so yeah, I'm really really excited for this one. I think this was a good showcase because, like I said, my timeline was just filled with positive stuff. It's the same thing though, like Mike said in the Discord, same thing of like it's like because it's Ubisoft. I feel like everyone has this like trepidation of like, is it gonna be really this good? Like, what are they hiding? Like, that's the thing. Like, what is wrong with this game potentially?
Microtransactions.
Yeah, but and maybe there's not. Maybe there's nothing wrong. But I think they're doing all things. I really hope you can actually play like Sabak in the world. And again, we talked about a little bit, but the GTA threat level. That's fantastic. Even if it's just a carbon copy of GTA, but with Star Wars aesthetic, that's some good stuff right there. So I'm very curious. So my hype just keeps going up with each showing. It's the opposite of some games we've talked about this weekend where it's like, okay, stop showing Skate, stop showing this. This is like they've been pitch perfect with their showcases each time and what they've gone out and gave detail wise. So I'm looking really forward to this game. Now I'm setting myself up for disappointment though, so we'll see. But yeah, I can't wait.
Anything else from you, Taylor, on this one?
Lando was caught in there briefly.
Oh,
yeah, he's in
we
there,
know
yeah.
that we know Kira's obviously in there. Crimson Dawn's in there, which is kind of cool. I don't think you're gonna get Maul or anything, but I mean, it's a little Easter egg would be welcomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Next up was Skull and Bones.
New
then after
season.
that was Prince of Persia. Yeah, there's kind of 3 in 1 here. First was some DLC coming for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I just gotta say, I think my least favorite type of showcase is just Twitch streamers screaming.
I agree. Yeah, I don't like
fucking
it.
Hated that so much.
Yeah.
Like, that is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Remember, that's why we hated Sea of Thieves originally, because that was their
Yeah.
whole thing. Like,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah.
look at this, and it was like
Ubisoft always doing this. They want to
Yeah.
show you people having fun playing.
people
their
play our
games.
games. I swear, they're
Yeah.
playing them. Yeah,
They did it another time too. I can't remember where.
They did it for Avatar. The guy was
Avatar,
going
right.
through the tunnel. He's like,
Oh.
holy crap.
look how beautiful this is.
Oh my
Exactly.
god. I
I knew this
rewinded it. I
game-
was like, this
yeah.
is fucking hilarious.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. They did that twice.
I
yeah.
like though that like in there because I didn't watch this live, so I watched afterwards when they had the timestamps in there, and it's like they had like Avatar streamer reaction, Avatar gameplay, Avatar deep dive. Like they actually broke it out, so it's like okay, I can just skip past this stupid thing that I
Streamer
don't want. Like
reaction.
they really broke it down, which I appreciated. So that was cool. Rogue Prince of Persia, we got a bit of an update on that game, and then I laughed out loud watching this when they said and something about time or like it's time. I forget what the pun was, but something. And then they had the Sands of Time, font, a little sizzler. 2026. I was like, yeah, okay. This game's still 2 years away. and they're
That's
showing it
crazy.
here. I understand why they showed it because it's like an anniversary year. But when I saw 2026, I just laughed because Summer Game Fest, Xbox, like no one's throwing that number out there. It's so far away. It's sci-fi numbers, so it's
And
just goofy.
sci-fi numbers. And what to me, I didn't know because I knew this remake had been rumored, but I didn't know. I guess they at some point did officially announce it. So I guess from the announcement
I think
to
it switched to a new studio and then like
okay.
got restarted in development, or I don't know. It's been quite a rocky road.
So from the announcement to if this game comes out in 2026, it's a 7-year span from the announcement
That's
to the
insane.
date. And for just a remake, it's like, yeah, that's something. But they seem to be they're putting a lot of their eggs in their Prince of Persia basket. So it's curious, and I'm curious how that remake will do. But yeah, it was 2026. That was that was quite a trip to see that one. So
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora has some DLC coming out July 16th, and I think this is just kind of part one, and then there's some other stuff.
Now's
coming
the
out
time,
later.
Taylor.
Yeah, are you gonna be jumping now that you're gonna be jumping into Ubisoft?
Yeah, you
Well,
play or
I
plus.
keep wanting to call the service Forward, but it's called Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah.
Since you're gonna be a subscriber to that soon enough, do you think you'll jump into Pandora for a little R&R?
I'll jump into it. This has been on my watch list for a while. I really wanted to kind of immerse myself in there and
You can be like
do
those
some
streamers.
stream
Not your wish
videos,
list
yeah.
or your backlog, but your watch list.
my watch list. I got a
Be
watch
careful
list,
with
a
this.
wish
Look how
list,
beautiful
and
it
a
is.
backlog list. Yeah, I'll be streaming. Like, oh, it's amazing.
Please on
No,
Keep
this-
First. Yeah.
This just looks fantastic, and it looks like it's right up my alley. I really want to experience it, and yeah, I feel bad that I wasn't there day one, but I swear, like it went on sale really, really quick, but not a good enough sale where I wanted to pay that price for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll play it. I'll play it.
Yeah. Travis, any additional?
Never ever
thoughts?
touching this game whatsoever unless it's at a 24-hour
Same.
stream. Yeah. I would happily watch Taylor play it though. Well, that's what
I
I'll
would.
say.
That's true.
Yeah.
My next note is Assassin's Creed. I definitely skipped over some update things. Travis, you seemed hyped by those things. Anything you wanted to shout out?
No, I
on
wasn't
those
hyped. I was
updates?
hyped how they did them. I was
Okay.
hyped that I liked
Okay.
that. I feel like there's been many times where it's like, oh, like even the crew when they came out, which I was surprised still going, he was there for like 2-3 minutes tops. There's times they come on stage. There's a fucking car there. There's a guy that's some racer that we don't
Xbox
care
is the one
about.
known for bringing the
Yeah,
car
no,
up, right?
yeah, you're right. But there's just like even just little stuff if they did like that Brawlhalla thing. Like in the past, it would be like a dev comes out for each of these for the most minor update. I think I liked how they did the montage of them,
Cool.
so I appreciate how they did it because in previous years, they have not. They've made a big deal out of little things. So
You can tell I skimmed this conference relative to the Xbox
it's okay.
and
Yeah,
Summer Game
there's
Fest
not
one.
there's not much there.
Okay. So Assassin's Creed is next up for me. Taylor, sorry, did you have any other things that I skipped over that is... Yeah, I didn't think so. Assassin's Creed Shadows. We got quite a lot of gameplay here. It was also a little bit in the Xbox showcase, and there's been a lot of info even in the last couple weeks that just haven't had you on SideQuest recently to talk about those things, Taylor. So how are you feeling about Shadows? What did you think of what we got here?
I am so ready for this game. Coming out hot and heavy off of Shogun, I'm just the whole set piece era here has just been. Oh, I'm primed and ready. And what I've seen from this game looks like they've really, really refined so many things. The weaponry that we're getting into, particularly, I hope I'm saying this right, the Kusarigama. It's like those like scythes that are on the chains that they're spinning around.
Yes,
using,
that's
like,
the coolest thing they showed. Yeah.
Can't wait to be using those. That's going to be great. The way that you can just really capitalize on being an assassin, where you're going prone, crawling around, you're taking out light sources, you're playing with like a character's kind of like their psyche a little bit. The way you're sneaking in, like it just feels like they've combined being an assassin with ninjas. Now I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, so I don't know exactly how that is in comparison to this. But I love too that you can basically not be limited by certain missions, whereas you have to play a certain character. With Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you had Evie and Jacob Fry, and you could switch between them at any point in time. But when you wanted to do certain missions, you had to play as those certain characters. With this, though,
What was
From
it?
what
Like
I've-
testosterone and then like anger. What were the like attributes that they had again?
I don't remember.
Travis, do you remember that? We were always memeing about that.
Testosterone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought it was. It was testosterone. Like
It was like his special power, right?
yeah, it was just anger and being like
Oh.
manly.
Oh, good
Stupid.
times. So yeah, so Taylor, that's I was gonna ask you how that mechanical works. Do you think it'll be like at any point you can switch between them, or it'll be?
I believe
like,
they came
Okay.
out and confirmed it that it won't impact the story. Like you can go through the whole story and just pick whichever character you want to do whatever, which
like
is
back and forth, like GTA 5 style. You can. Right.
yeah. So you're not limited to it. And then you have, I mean, the characters themselves, like they're both very, very enticing. I like how they both are very, very unique. Like you can choose to be the assassin, shinobi, or the samurai. And I think, how did they say her name? It was like Neo, Nui, or
Not
I
sure.
hope I'm probably not saying that right. She's fucking fantastic, and I'm probably gonna spend like 75% of my time just enjoying playing as her. Well, I'll use the other 25% playing as Yusuke, the samurai. I think samurais are very cool, but like the shinobi assassin, that's like,
Yeah, I'm with you
Yeah.
on that. I'm playing the assassin or the samurai like 5% of the time, just to say I did. But then I'm playing her like the way she's like doing backflips off buildings and like flipping around. And obviously, I'm more of a stealth guy than like the Soulsy type combat, whatever they have going on here. So I'm with you on that. I mean, once again, because of Ubisoft Plus, I'll be playing this game, Taylor. I'll join you for an
Nice.
Assassin's Creed review. Isn't that crazy?
nice. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm excited to jump into this. Yeah, I mean, I think for me the hype level is definitely lower. Like I'm checking it out because that subscription service. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't be. Just because, like, I don't know, when I've tried to play these games in the past, they just don't really do it for me necessarily. And I have Ghost of Tsushima, which I love, and I'm gonna play that sequel when it comes out. So I feel like I've had my fix in that way. But I think there's some cool things they showed off here, and obviously the stealth. I love a good stealth gameplay, and this stuff looks really fun. And like I don't know, raiding camps and stuff was just one of my favorite elements of Ghosts. And so to get more set pieces for that, all sorts of crazy stuff going on here, some new mechanics and different mechanics, I'm into it. So I'm excited.
Not really. And I'm sorry. And I don't think it looks bad. I think it's just that it's like what Dylan said. I have that with a lot of other games too, where it's like, oh, it's like, what's the other one? Is it the Rise of Ronin out that's out right now or something like that, or coming out? There's just other games that I just see if there's anything that's not, even that monkey game that's coming out to an extent, like if it doesn't look, none of them have sold me on why do I need to play this in addition to Ghosts, when that already kind of hit all the boxes I wanted. And then I also see some of these games doing things lesser where this game doesn't look bad, but it doesn't have the beauty of Ghost of Tsushima, right? That's the thing. And the combat, like Taylor pointed out, that one weapon, like, man, I wish I could have that because that looked like tons of fun. But one weapon does not make, a great game. I'm not saying this is going to be a bad game, or no, that's to say, one weapon does not make Travis want to get said game. I'm with you guys. I would completely be with the assassin, the samurai. There's some elements to it looked like very similar to how Jin would fight in certain areas, but the thing with Jin is that would be in certain areas. You could be the assassin, you could go all over, where this is taking almost the Jin character from Ghost and like ripping him apart, and like here's the battle one and here's like the assassin one. So for me, I would definitely play as her most of the time because I liked all the moveset, the ideas. I did really like some of the like the bigger kills when they did like the black and white and the red came up. So that I think is, I don't know if Assassin's Creed's done that before, but that felt a bit more like a stylistic choice than Assassin's Creed's done in the past. So I think that's smart to step aside from the franchise and like, what else can we do? And that's an element that's different than Ghost. So yeah, it's a tough thing where I would like to, there's lots of Assassin's Creed games where I'd like to play because I did like the original two that I did, but they're just so much further down on the backlog. And this is the same thing. Like if they came out and said, hey, we're done with Ghost of Tsushima, we're never making another one, then I may, okay, maybe I'll do this. But because like Dylan said, we know at least next 2 to 3 years it's going to be there and I'm going to get my itch scratched. Plus we already had Legends. So yeah, and I don't think it looked bad. I think I'm very happy for the Assassin's Creed fan, and I'm happy for people that don't have a PlayStation because I think this will be, if you are a prime Xbox Switch person and you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, but you've always wanted a game kind of like that, I think that'll be the equivalent to this. I don't think it'll be nearly as good, but I think it will get the job done. And yeah, like I said, it feels maybe a little too late on some aspects, but I think there's still enough people that are hyped, and I think it still looks good. It doesn't necessarily look bad. It just doesn't. It just. I can't personally invest in it because I have, you know, the just the version I prefer already, right? So it's just and who knows, maybe when it comes out, people will play it, say, oh, there's X, Y, and Z, but same thing. It's I think the story will be kind of basic, but I think a good showing overall because I think people are still genuinely excited for to, you know, be in Japan with the Assassin's Creed type of lore. So
Mm-hmm. Taylor, any other juicy details from what we've got here that is interesting or
Well,
new or different to you?
big thing is the seasons changing. I think that's huge. The weather
Okay.
mechanics are cool, and
that's
so
cool. Yeah.
you're gonna be going into areas that they were highlighting here that it's wintertime, the water's frozen over, you can't go swimming, you can't get in there, it's iced over, so you gotta like do your thing. You can come back when it's spring or summer, and all of a sudden you can get back in there. So you're gonna have certain accessibility when it comes to assassinations, certain buildings you're trying to get into, and I think weather affecting that is really really cool. uh yeah, there's so many other cool, unique little things that they've added in there, which I really, really enjoyed. Yeah, you mentioned it, Travis, the dynamic of just getting that final killing blow and just like that flash,
Mm-hmm.
that's new and that's very, very welcome. I think it's beautiful. I love that. And yeah, just the combat system. I think they've really kind of fine-tuned and honed it in quite well after they've revised it with Origins and kind of been tweaking it since then. So I like that they really are focusing on just finding that opening in your weakness and your opponent, finding his weakness and taking advantage of it. This game is just, it's fantastic. And as I said, my goal is to complete Mirage well in advance before this
Oh.
comes out. So
Well, you don't got much time. November's right around the corner, really.
I know, fuck,
So it goes by fast. So you got about 4 months there.
no more Call of Duty. Just
No more
kidding.
Call of Duty, and then you got Star Wars in August. So you gotta. I feel like you gotta kind of
Oh,
finish. I feel like you gotta start on that Assassin's Creed journey right now and finish before
I'm
August
almost.
30th.
I am almost done. I'm more than halfway. So.
Oh, that's not almost done. More than half. That's 51%, my friend.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Yep.
Anything else from this showcase, my friends?
No, that was about it. They delivered where they needed to, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you everyone for listening to these trio of episodes here. Next week we'll be back to the regular scheduled programming. You know, that Nintendo Direct, who knows when it's happening. If it does drop on some random day, we might do a cast early to cover it. We'll just kind of wait and see how it goes and all that. So stay tuned to all that. And yeah, thank you for listening. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.